I'm going to talk with you a little bit today about exploring using blood pregnancy testing in your cow-calf operation. There's a lot of pros and cons to it, and we're just going to explore a little bit of that today. So traditionally, we've always used chute side palpation or pregnancy checking or ultrasound to identify pregnancies, and a lot of times we're doing that at the end of the breeding season. With blood, using blood to determine pregnancy, we're actually able to speed up that process and turn some things around, and so there's some great benefits to using that, and then there's also some drawbacks. So the biggest drawback that's easy to identify is the fact that it's not instantaneous. So you collect the blood sample, and then you're going to take that blood sample and turn it in to a lab, and it's usually going to take 1 to 2 days to get your result back. So obviously that's going to mean an extra trip to the chute or to the pens if you're going to need to sort off open cows. However, there are some benefits that can be pretty good for cow-calf producers. One of the things you can think about, smaller cow-calf producers, is going to cut back a lot of your cost. You know, a lot of times you're going to pay travel and a set fee to have the vet come out on top of your arm service fees, and so you can eliminate a lot of those. Samples usually cost between $250 and $350 to get them run, to get your results back from the blood, and so that's one thing that you can do, is eliminate some of that cost up front. The other thing that's pretty cool about it is it can identify a pregnancy on a first calf heifer or replacement heifer at 25 days, and then in mature cows at 28 days. And so you can use that to kind of have a quicker turnaround on some of your preg checking. One way to think about it is that traditionally with AI, we've always waited 10 days to turn our cleanup bulls in. That gives us a good enough window, ultrasound technicians and things like that. If you preg check earlier or before the end of your breeding season, you can usually identify those cows that caught AI and those cows that were bred when you turned your cleanup bulls in. If you use blood pregnancy check, you're not going to have to wait the entire 10 days. You could just turn around and turn your cleanup bulls in 2 days after UAI. That 2-day break is going to be enough. You have to be specific now. You're going to have to draw your blood sample exactly on 30 days or 28 days after UAI. If you wait till 30, it's going to pick up anything that the cleanup bull bred 2 days later. But if you go ahead and you just wait those 2 days, and then you have it set, planned to preg check either 25 days after AI for your young cows or 30 days for your mature cows, you can eliminate that 8-day time span at the beginning of your breeding season that your bulls aren't going to be in. The other thing that we were using here on the operation I'm at today is that we were working on resynchronizing. This particular producer has a group of cows that he's trying to tighten up the breeding season on, so we're doing a couple rounds of AI to try to move more cows into the beginning of his breeding season and tighten things up. So the protocol that this operation is using is they're going ahead, they synchronized their first group, they AI'd, we waited 28 days and pulled blood, and then when they get the results back tomorrow, they'll go ahead and resynchronize those cows. So he didn't have to pay the vet an extra trip out to come and ultrasound his first group of heifers. And it was something that he could do himself, so it saved him some money, and ultimately in the long run it's going to help him with his reproductive management strategy, tightening up that breeding season. So while traditionally, I think when the blood pregnancy check first come out, a lot of the larger producers really probably didn't intend to implement it. I think it initially had a lot of benefits for the smaller cow-calf producers, but as we explore some of the different things, especially with artificial insemination, I think that there are some opportunities to use blood pregnancy check to try to help us increase our reproductive management and help us implement some of those goals and strategies that we have for our operation.